Where's my
$2?
This is really.
I'm just gonna get it.
Hey, I really tried. I mean, I do it. All right, it is 9 o'clock. We will start our meeting at the Boyle County Fiscal Court, April the 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Madam Clerk, has it been properly advertised and do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask everyone to please silence their phones during the meeting. And invocation today is Magistrate Sleeper.
Shall we pray?
Thank you.
Father in heaven, we are reminded in your word in Proverbs 11:14 that without wise leadership a nation fails. So Lord, we ask that you grant us the sagacity to enhance the quality of life for all of our Boyle County citizens. Thank you for our first responders, for our veterans who have sacrificed, Lord, in serving our nation, and for those who are currently serving, Lord. We thank you for our county team members who are working to make Boyle County a good place to live. And may our governance provide the proper balance for the effective functioning of today and for future investment. We ask all this in our Lord Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And today we have a special guest with us. Some years ago, students came from the local schools and led us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and so we wanted to start that back. So today we have Amelia Stump, and she is in the 5th grade at Junction City Elementary, and her parents are Nick and Catherine Stump, and I'm assuming this is Mom with her? Okay, all right. So we appreciate you letting her come. And Amelia, if you'll stand up, we have the flag right here, and we'll just let you lead us in the pledge. Is that okay? All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you so much. And I have a certificate for you. This is a certificate of recognition, and it's in recognition of leading the Pledge of Allegiance to the Boyle County Fiscal Court. Thank you so much.
And you
And
wore
Miss
the right
Julie is
color
going to take
today.
your picture. We talked last night.
All right, good. You must have given her the pink kids.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We do not have any minutes for this meeting. We will have 2 sets of minutes. At the next one, they were kind of lengthy, and I was out of the office this past week, so we'll hold those to the next meeting. But we will approve the bills at this time.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, in your bill packet, you had a total amount of bills for $907,013.04. I would like to add on the sheriff's office fuel bill to this, because if we don't get it in the first meeting, it comes in late by the time it gets to the vendor. That total bill is going to be $9,862.13, and that's going to bring the grand total to $916,875.17.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Motion by Magistrate Gay, second by Magistrate Bogner. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. All right, I did not see any budget transfers, but we do have cash transfers.
Right.
Okay,
No
Ms. Starlene.
budget transfers this week. Cash transfers are $210,000. That'll be $200,000 from general to EMS, $10,000 from general fund to fleet management.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the cash transfers? Okay, Magistrate Harmon, is there a second? Magistrate Bowden?
I'll say it.
All right, any questions about the cash transfers? All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you. All right, we have a little bit of old business to contend with, and first one up is HR Director Steve Griffin.
That's not personal, Steve.
Yeah. No, that-
I get that all the time. I'm not sure exactly, so we presented this last meeting, I guess. I'm not sure you've had a chance to review it, so I don't know exactly where we want to start. We'll just go from the top and go through it, or
Page turner.
page turn.
How about we just start like on page 9,
Page 9.
where
okay.
the first.
Well, yeah, anything that's highlighted in red is
Yeah.
a change or an edit or something.
So it's like the words of Jesus that are read.
Yeah, it's like the Bible.
I didn't say it, you said it.
This is the county Bible.
Uh,
If anybody has any questions, then they
Yeah,
can.
we'll just go, we'll stop at each page and if you have a comment or any changes you want me to make, we can look at that. Looking at page 10. Page 12, you already approved the modified duty policy, I'm just inserting it in. Page 16, drug and alcohol testing, we've added 2 departments into that. Page 26.
Steve, can we go back to 22 just a moment?
Sure can.
I know that you don't have this in red.
22,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
The reasonable suspicion,
Reasonable suspicion,
seems,
okay.
about the third line down, seems like there is some, maybe some better words that could be used in that sentence.
We had such suggested, but that's what the meaning of what we wanted, so.
Okay. Would
The
justifiable be used in place of articulable, that I can't even hardly pronounce?
Articulable means I can explain it verbally.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if that's,
I can put whatever words you want in there,
Okay.
I don't,
Counsel.
he's our,
Sure, that can find a better word for articulable.
I mean, if you're a wordsmith, you're gonna know what that means, but
well,
if
and
you're
this
not,
is
it's
intended
kind
for
of,
supervision. As they make those, if they've identified someone who needs to be tested,
mm-hmm,
they need to defend it by having something that's articulable
mm-hmm,
and it's contemporaneous, which means it's happening right now, we can observe it.
mm-hmm.
I say
I like
that it's-
contemporaneous better than articulable.
Let's leave it. If there's a
Justified is another word for articulable.
It's so boring.
Being expressed, explained, or justified.
Okay, I mean, I'm just bringing it out, if everybody's good with it, that's fine. I just wonder if there was a word that would be more,
We could add it to the definitions. Seriously, I mean, maybe we could
Yeah,
add it to the
okay.
definitions.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I
Add
like
it
it.
to the definitions.
at the front.
There's
Oh,
drug
oh, right.
definitions.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah,
Okay.
let's just do that. Okay, all right, I'm sorry, go ahead. Where were we before you were so really interrupted?
26.
I'm sorry, 26. We've added training, again, as we're making attempts to become a drug-free workplace certified. One of those is requiring 1 hour training for all employees and supervisors. So I just added that in there. We're not doing it yet, but our plans are to do that. So
We're getting there.
we're getting there. Page 30, 31. Page 34, pay plan. That we incorporated that into our.
We're not talking about companies or
I'm sorry.
time.
We're not on compensatory time yet. Well, yes, page 35.
I have 30 on mine, so it's one.
Yeah, 30. We've reformatted it a little bit, I'm sorry, because it was out of joint, so.
Okay, so
Based-
is there a new, was there a new thing sent to us or no?
Is everybody on page 30 for that?
Should have been a new one, yes.
Today's packet, I didn't see it in there, but
About 35, yeah.
it's not the first time I've missed something in it. One share, crap. Sorry, Bill.
Goes in the convenience.
Okay, so employment compensation policy. Is
Right.
that,
Oh,
is that where you're at?
Yes, and then,
Hold on.
It's 34.
34 is
Yeah,
that.
34.
And 35 is compensatory time.
Number
We
7
wanna
in
talk
your
about
list of
that.
things
Speaking
in
my
the
way.
folder.
It's not in the packet.
Number 7.
Hold on. No, number 7.
Is it there? No?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
Alright, we're at 30.
We're all on 34.
30.
Alright, I'm catching up.
30,
Yeah.
just know when you're there.
Around the corner. There we go. Employee compensation policies.
Yep.
Yes.
Alright.
Yay.
The pay plan we implemented basically with the recent pay review, compensation review, so that's been implemented. And then the compensatory time, I don't know if we want to talk about that, if we wanted to make some adjustments in that, or
On page 35.
on page 35, yes.
Yeah, that's the one that,
Yeah.
in number 12
Right.
is where we
Yeah.
do need to,
Yeah, that's on page 36.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm good with the top part of that. but
Number 12, yeah. we need to
Number
work
12,
on that.
that's where we need to adjust
The
that one
hours, yeah.
down.
Mhm.
And I think, I still think that's a little bit of a work in progress to me, but
Throw a number.
I would suggest 80 hours, and that we structure it so that it doesn't, anybody that already has the 240 hours doesn't lose them. We start working them
Yeah.
back, but it's going from this point forward, it would.
Will they be able to accumulate any until they get it down? Or would it, if I'm at 200 and can't get it down, will I still accumulate? Or,
You're saying 80, not 180
No, 80.
Because,
for exempt employees?
yes,
I worked
because,
40 last pay period.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a lot.
For some jobs, it is. For others, like I know Julie's been working a lot. I know and our EMA works a lot. They're called out a lot. We don't know when they're going to be called out.
that's a different category. Wouldn't that be under number 7, EMA?
No, number 7 is that he's exempt.
Well, number 7 is, yes, sheriff's department.
Okay, that would be the, yeah, you're talking about Mike.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That
Again, I
position.
guess the thing, one of the reasons why I think we've got to find whatever the balance is.
Yeah.
Because again, to me, comp time is, you accumulate it and then you need to be able to work it back down,
I agree.
because it has no cash value. And that's what our policy says.
Right.
So if it has no cash value, then there's no reason to really accumulate a huge amount. It's basically a management function. And so we need to, if people are working a lot, then they need to take some time off and not work a lot. And it's got to be a give and take back and forth,
Arranged through their supervisor.
arranged through the supervisor, because there is no cash value to that time. So it's I don't know what the value of accumulating 240 hours is if there's no cash value to it. There's no way you could ever allow somebody to take 240 hours off.
It's a lot of time off, it is.
Especially if they can't get if they're
And
working
the
so much
exempt
that they're
and non-exempt is
accumulating.
really confusing for a lot of people. People don't understand the exempt position and the non-exempt, I think, so, so I think
Yeah,
that,
because in 12, it says, down there, the last sentence says, no exempt employee shall be paid for accumulated comp time upon separation from employment.
Yes.
So I think it's important to recognize that there is no cash value associated with comp time for exempt employees.
I just think if they've been used to 240 and you drop it to 80, that's a big drop.
I would offer a kind of middle ground.
I would too.
I mean, just, maybe 140 or something, but just, and then look at it again next year and drop it further.
Steve,
Sir.
with your decades as an HR guy in the private, and might exceed yours. But with your decades in the private sector, and I know we're not the private sector, but what was the policy there? Because as I mentioned when Magistrate Gay made his comment, the supervisor has in the past, on your side and my side, the private sector, made the call. And there was never any suggestion. In your manuals on the private sector side, was there an accumulation at all? And there never was an.
I can't speak for all businesses in industry. My experience has shown that typically, I may be working this Saturday, say I have to work 8-10 hours on Saturday, which is not a normal work day for me. My boss might say, hey, why don't you take off half day Monday or something. It was very informal,
So there was not in a manual.
No, I never saw anything.
And I never saw it either. And I just think we're encumbered with hours when good judgment can take care of this. If our supervisors are doing their jobs properly, they know when Mary is exceeding her time and Charlie is not.
Yeah, but then if you have overzealous magistrates that are asking them to do more and more and more, then they're like, sorry, we're gonna tell the magistrates, no, sorry, we've got, these guys need this time off, but we've got this emergency here that needs to get taken care of. It's not as easy in the private sector. It's not as easy in public sector as it is private sector, because we have a duty to the constituents and to the taxpayers. So it's not apples to apples on this, but one thing that we have been saying over the last couple of years is that we have this benefit because we don't pay quite what the private sector pays.
And we recognize that they do have to work over at certain times.
Correct. But our pay we've done a very good job of bringing our pay up and our benefits package up. And so what we need to do is we need at that point, this is where I kind of agree with you a little bit, Tom, is we need to challenge to make sure that those that are managing the employees make sure that they're managing their workload. So and it's ideal to see that if we have somebody that has a large amount of hours and then others that don't, okay, well, why is this person working so much harder than this person, and what's happening over here that we need to, that's a red flag that we need to address some stuff, and it may come to the point of we may need to hire additional support and staff.
It's just that 240 hours are virtually a month and a half of work time.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's a lot of time, it is. But there's some, to your point, there are a lot of jobs, or some jobs are just different than others.
Right.
Like Brian's job is totally, his requirements are a lot different than mine. I'm not called out in the middle of the night to go somewhere and to be somewhere for 8 hours.
But he should have the flexibility as well
to take off.
I
agree.
Because emergencies aren't 24/7, because if that's the case, we got bigger problems.
I agree, he should.
And he does do that.
And we should manage.
So he's got the management. But I mean, Julie is a prime example of somebody that works a lot of hours because she has a lot of stuff thrown at her.
Right.
And then we have high expectations of her. So if she's accumulating this much time, we need to either get her help or we need to delegate some of that work off. I say we need to get to 80 at some point, but I agree that probably 140, 160 is the better way to step it down right now. And then we need to come up with some sort of policy on how we answer some of the questions of can they still accumulate, or is it just they're locked in now, they're at 240, they can't accumulate anymore. I mean, that's the way the system is. And then they start taking some time off and work that number down. I mean, that'd be my suggestion, is I'd say 140, 160 for now.
I agree.
I'd go with that.
I would too.
And then
There's
next year evaluate it again.
Let's go down to 160.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then next year we'll go down. What do you think, Shane?
No, I'm good with that. I think that's
There'll
a
be
good
20 hours
compromise.
next year.
But again, I think it does come back, it's incumbent upon the employee and the managers to work on balancing their life out with their comp time, is to, obviously, everybody can't take all their comp time at once.
Right.
But if people are working that exorbitant amount of hours that's requiring them to accumulate that comp time, then they need to be taking some time off
Because it
and
makes-
utilizing their comp time,
It-
because there is no financial value to it.
Right.
It makes the employee a happier
Yeah.
person if they can get some time away from the job.
Yeah.
Because I know these people are working too much. I know some that are working too much, so we need to get them time off and
Yeah.
get away.
So the onus will be put on the department head.
Yes.
Or the elected official, whichever
Yes.
the case may be.
Yes.
I still think you need to get permission to do the comp time in the first place. You just don't get it and say, hey, I had this. You know, you need to get approval
Yes.
to even get
Yeah.
that comp.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Agreed.
So we're moving to 160 for this one? Is that,
I think
Yeah.
okay.
that's what I.
And again, it doesn't take any away from people that are already at 240.
Right.
They need to
Right.
start working
Working their way
themselves
down.
back.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 36, page 37. Questions on that?
What page is that?
37.
For the benefits during evaluation period.
Is it
Well, the
worth,
evaluation period itself, yes. We changed what used to be, I don't know what the old policy was, but now we want to go ahead, if someone's promoted, to go ahead and give them a pay increase for that promotion. And it used to be, it was 5%, and we're just saying now 5% or 3 steps in the grade, whichever's greater. You know, the old policy had it, well, if you don't make it, we move you back, you know, we'll take you to the old policy, or the old rate in the old job, but I don't know if that's really necessary. I don't know how many times we promote people, first off, it's not very often, but when we do, we hope we make the right decision.
on number 1 on 37, we do waive pre-existing conditions, correct? On health policy, when a new employee comes in, that very first day, we waive, correct?
I'm sorry, what's,
Somebody comes in and we know we're hiring somebody who has cancer,
okay.
but our health policy is that we waive all
Yes,
pre-existing.
yes,
Then I think something ought to be said about,
think that's
including
a-
waiving all waive.
That's a federal law, Tom.
Yeah, that's in our,
No,
well,
it's not a federal law.
It's a new, it's, yeah.
it's in our
federal law that's
benefits, I
happened
think. I think
Within the
we've
last
explained that.
5 years, is it? Yeah, I think that's part of Obamacare.
My goodness.
Yeah. Gotta get
We'll
back
go,
back
I'll
in the
double check
process,
that, Tom, make sure.
Okay, yeah, please.
All right, so let's, evaluation period. Okay, but that's not talking about,
The evaluation period was, and I left it, maybe I should have retitled that. The old was the evaluation period, I'm promoted to a job, and if and I get a 5% increase after 6 months. So
Okay.
I moved into a job after 6 months. They were calling that the evaluation period to see where they get the 5%. And maybe we need to change that title.
no, it's all right, no.
Okay.
I'm more interested in the section where it talks about evaluations.
Number 2.
Well,
Oh, an evaluation of an employee?
Yeah.
I see. I don't know if that's in here, is it?
No, not in this section, it was not.
you got promotion, resignation.
Are you wanting an evaluation, like a
Well, I think,
process
I
every
think
year?
we've talked, well, yeah, we've discussed it, that we need to make sure we're not falling into a system where people don't get raises or the ability to have a raise.
But
And
that's the step, all right?
That's what I'm trying to understand, because this evaluation period, to me, it sounds like under hiring. Like we hire somebody,
I think
Under
the step
6
grade
months.
every year, you get your step plus your COLA with the new system that you implemented. Right, Steve, every year
Yes.
you get, every year, everybody will get their step plus COLA on the,
All right.
on the chart from 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Well, on
But we-
promotion, that
I can
sentence
send
says
you that,
will
Jason.
be eligible, it doesn't say shall be granted. Does that mean that if I'm underperforming at that time, that I may not get that 5%? Because there's a whole lot of difference between will be granted and, or will be eligible and shall be granted.
It says if the employee's performance is not satisfactory, the period may be extended up to an additional 90 days.
Tom's on the next page, I think, 38,
Yeah.
under promotion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're getting a promotion, then you're,
It's-
Um,
It says
Is that
will
an
be
automatic
eligible.
5% or is it?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe
Well,
say
you
we'll
shall.
receive an
Will
increase.
be granted, or? yeah,
Shall be eligible.
Shall be eligible, yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's still a difference between shall be eligible and shall be granted. A whole lot of difference.
So shall be granted.
be
Shall
granted.
receive.
Shall receive, yeah, something to that
That's
effect.
fine, yeah. I like shall receive.
Okay. Changed.
Okay, so back to what I was saying though. That asked this quite a few different times. I don't want somebody to automatically just get a raise that doesn't deserve a raise. And I've talked about this about a hybrid situation,
Yes.
that we're not just gonna give pay because that's gonna kill morale. Because if, you know, if in, like, just use Mike's department as an example, if he's got an underperforming EMT and they, you know, they're gonna get the raise just like everybody else, you know, what's the basis of everyone else stepping up to actually receive it? You have a performance evaluation, and that evaluation determines if you're going to get a raise.
Right. I think we're determined if you're not going to get one. If may I correct you. The automatic increase
You
is a
shall,
step.
correct.
Yes. If I'm not performing, it allows me not to grant that increase based on observable, articulable.
Okay. But is that in here? Because I didn't read it.
Do you want us to table this? or-
It's not in here, you're right, I need to add that.
Okay.
Something to that effect.
Because I don't want someone reading this and say, oh, wait, I get a raise no matter what, because it's not in the
Because
policy.
that's what it says today.
Yeah.
And so, or shall, or whatever.
It's gonna de-incentivize good performance.
Right. We want to,
Let me insert.
and that's gonna cause an excess of
Yes, so
people.
we
It's
can
like,
bring it,
there's no reason.
yeah. I agree.
Let me make an edit to that and
Yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah,
That's
and then we'll
okay.
go
Please.
ahead through the rest of it,
Yes,
and then that way,
okay.
if there's anything else, we can,
Well, the one thing I would, you know, I have pointed this out before, but I want to state again, is that with that hybrid policy, which I'm in favor of that, and I agree with that, but we do need to, it's incumbent upon the managers to evaluate, we've got to have a good evaluation system
Yeah.
in order to operate under that system. Because the one thing, again, going back to the difference between public and private industry, even though in private, most people somehow find out what you make anyway, but in the public, they definitely know what you make. And so if there's somebody that is getting an evaluation and a raise and somebody's not, you better have a good reason why that person is not
Well,
getting
yeah, each
their
manager
raise.
should have a form,
Right.
an evaluation form, kind of like
Right.
what we've used
Yeah.
in the past, that should be used.
Exactly, but
So-
I'm not sure.
This year we
It's
did.
a tough process, and people have to
But
be
it's a
doing
key
the
because
process.
we've had situations where there's nothing in a file.
Right.
Yeah, well, this year we did ask each director to evaluate their people before the increases go into effect.
Did we ask them to put things in writing?
It's at that form, yes.
Okay.
it's, yeah, it's a form.
And that-
Good.
I mean, yeah, that was one of the tasks we asked before when we hired our HR manager, to have these kind of more professional things done. So,
So we've done that this year. But
Yep.
we'll add that, make a change to the evaluation period.
all right. We're on page 5.
Page 5.
Did you back up?
He's on the wrong version.
I'm on 38.
We're on 38. We'll change the language on the promotion.
Promotion, yeah.
Shall receive an increase in pay of 5%. Okay?
Yes.
39, we just added that in about the retirement and healthcare.
Outside employment on 41.
Yeah, I was looking through some other things, and I added that simply because, you know, there's a lot of people work 2 jobs, and especially in health and safety, I worry about them sometimes overextending and not being, and falling asleep while they're driving or something. So we just asked that we engage the employee with us and the director, make sure that it doesn't interfere with their regular job. if they're moonlighting.
So what's, if they don't go that route by engaging you, is there an instance in here where it talks about a ramification?
Well, in our disciplinary process, if someone doesn't follow our guidelines.
Got it.
Then we can address that.
You shall address it, got it.
Do you want to put a sentence in there, maybe, maybe subject to disciplinary or something? Do you want to add that in there?
I
No,
don't think
No?
that-
Okay.
I don't think
so.
so. I think that's covered other ways.
In 43, we've added just a social media policy, just to, and the use of computers and internet, what's been there before. 44, we've added breaks to document that their employees are allowed breaks during the workday. And then on workplace behavior, we've revamped that to address, we've tried to divide it up into different violations, and just as examples, that if they commit X, Y, and Z, this is what happens. And if they do it again, this is what happens. So it's more of a progressive disciplinary process, but it's not drawn out. There's only really 2 opportunities, I guess.
In today's vernacular, progressive means liberal. I would rather have that say a step-by-step disciplinary process.
I saw.
I know what the
I saw it
intent-
once you read the whole thing. It's.
I know what the intent is, but that word has been,
You're talking about the first sentence?
yeah.
First paragraph? Here's to a step-by-step, is that?
I think that fits more with what's going on in society today as opposed to liberal intent.
I think we kind
I'm
of.
lost, where are we?
On page
Yeah.
44, the
I think
last
it's fine.
paragraph.
I think it's fine.
I'm fine with it.
As long as it's not misinterpreted.
Graduated
Yes, I like that much
to a
better.
graduated.
Disciplinary
I'm
process.
fine with that
Thank you.
also.
Counselor?
Graduated, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Get you on board.
Page 47, we removed the suggestion system, because it never was used, or we didn't have any way of documenting what the suggestions were. So it was just removed. We've, the other changes, the one on holidays has been already approved, vacation leave was approved, previous meetings.
Can you just correct the 19th to be capitalized?
I'm sorry?
Some of these are capitalized, some of them aren't capitalized. Make sure that one's capitalized, please.
Graduated.
Leaves of absence, y'all have already approved that, that's just incorporated now.
Fifty-eight's just a line that's been added.
I'm sorry?
58's just a line that's been added.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 58, we added a line to make sure that our vacation policy and our leave policy were fitting together properly.
Under emergency responder leave
That's
Okay.
it.
on 62.
62, okay?
Employees who are volunteer emergency responders, firefighter, rescue squad, etc., may be excused from work if the absence is caused by the employee responding to an emergency. Does it matter if they're does it have, I mean, I would think that if they're responding to an emergency in our county, like, because you'll have some volunteer people that are volunteers in other counties.
Yeah, I don't think the state statute differentiates that. Chris, do you know? That's a statute.
That's the statute.
I'm not on
Yes.
it. I mean, I see it.
Okay, well then, let's move
I
on
just,
then.
yeah, it's,
If you've just added that in there as
Yeah.
a state thing, that's fine. All right.
critical incident leave, we did just add, that's,
Yeah.
doesn't require any paid time off, it just allows you to take time off if you're involved in something, from a safety standpoint.
Yeah.
The leave donation program was approved a while back, I just added it.
Is there, and I hope there's not, a limitation on leave donation?
It's in there.
There is, you cannot, there is, you can't, I don't know what it is right now, Tom.
All right, I just saw it.
I'm not talking about the donor, I'm talking about the person who's off because of a grave situation.
I don't know if there's a limit for how many
They
hours
would
that
end
can
up
receive.
going into FMLA at
Yeah.
a certain point, so if anything, this would just help them get to FMLA.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to be paid while they're off, and that's the key.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't, they've exhausted their own time. Voting leave, I've just changed the word there, who is intending to vote versus, I don't think anybody has any trouble getting off to leave to vote anymore. I mean, so many ways to vote. On the county provided equipment, employer provided vehicles, I've just added using the phone in a vehicle, county vehicle, you must be hands-free to use the telephone versus.
I don't see anything else in there that has an issue, so if we can get that 160 hours changed along with the portion about evaluations, I think we're good to go. Can bring that back one last time.
Okay.
One more time.
One more time.
One more time.
All right.
So do we have a motion to table the employee handbook until next meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Ellis. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Good work,
Appreciate
Steve,
you.
thanks.
All right, next is the,
Clerk?
I don't know if Casey is out there or if
It's gonna
Lily.
be there here later.
Okay. All right, we've already approved the agreement. This is just the memorandum of agreement for the money that we're gonna be getting back from the election equipment grant, $635, so we just need to approve the contract and the MOA.
You want acknowledgement or motion?
I'll make a motion, please.
I'll make the motion. We
All right, motion by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Bodner. Any discussion?
Yes. I didn't say second, but I will.
You did? I heard you say second.
I didn't.
All right, did anybody say second? I just
I
missed
will.
it. Okay, Magistrate Gay then. Any
Manager
discussion?
Boner doesn't want to go on. She doesn't want to play long.
I interrupt so many times making a second, so I thought I'm gonna be good this time.
That's the responsibility of the second district.
Yeah, let's make a second, yeah. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, next, new business. We have Extension Board budget, and Miss Rita Stewart is here and going to present.
Yeah, you all should have a copy of the summary.
And Miss Rita's just getting her voice back, so y'all just bear with
It's
me.
better, right?
Yeah, she couldn't talk a week ago.
On behalf of the Boyle County Extension Office and our Boyle County Extension District Board, I would love to present to you guys our budget today. There have been many sets of eyes on the budget, and I want to thank our board members for their attention to all of the budget stuff. If you have any questions, I guess I'll be happy to answer those, but just like to present that to you today on behalf of the Extension Office. And while you're having a chance to look over that summary, I would encourage you, if you haven't been to some of the great programs that they have at the Extension Office, we have a great staff there and great agents, and they're doing some wonderful, positive things for our communities. So I just encourage you to support them and go to their programs every opportunity that you have. So I want to thank you for your time this morning. I don't know if you guys want me to try to cover each of those things that are on this summary, or if you just have questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
And do you need the court to approve this budget or just to acknowledge?
Just to acknowledge it, I believe it's right.
I don't
Judge
think we have the
Shirley?
statutory authority.
Yeah, I think you just have to present it. So,
How many employees are there?
currently, I think there are 12, I believe, right off the top of my head. We have added some new positions during the last year. We have added an FCS program assistant. We've also added a nutrition education program assistant to that office. We do have some new employees there. I think I'm telling you that correctly, that there were 12. I can double check my stuff just to make sure.
Full-time? Part-time?
Yes, we have 12 right now.
Full-time?
Yes, everyone is full-time. I do believe, let me just make sure. No, I am correct, there is one that is part-time. And also included in the budget, also there are 2 summer temporary positions, which are accounted for as well. Those positions, one of those will work with the Lorax program, with tree planting and tree identification. So those 2 summer temporary positions are part of that budget as well.
So the $776,861.80 for personnel, is that their full benefits package, or is that just pay?
So, and that is their salary per hour plus, our full-time positions are budgeted at 48% of their benefits. Our part-time positions, which would be 3 of those, are at 9%. Our 3rd and 4th agent positions, which now is included in here, those are budgeted, I believe, at 36% of benefits.
Okay.
Yes, very good questions.
Yes.
So,
But I just want to make sure, I mean, I see 776,000 and 12 employees.
yeah.
You start doing math and you're like,
Right. I know that sounds like a lot, but our extension office is now in the 2+ funding model. So like for the 3rd agent and the 4th agent, they're paying for those positions plus 36% of the benefits. And that comes into play there as well.
Indirectly related to the budget, are you on the committee that is planning the investment in youth sale this year?
So that's a very good question, Tom. Thank you. So from that office, Tyler Ray, our A&R agent, he is definitely serving on that committee. I have met with that committee in the past, and it has really transitioned into Tyler's role. So he is the one that's actually serving on that. I'll be there if they need me, of course.
Well, it's important because we're already into April, and many of the animals have already been birthed. And I haven't seen anything in the newspaper or anything to validate to the young people that we are doing it this year. And I think it's urgent that something get in a news release to encourage these young folks to be farmers for the future.
It was passed at the last board meeting.
I understand that, but we've seen nothing. That's the critical thing.
do we have to acknowledge this budget first before we talk about other stuff, though?
Okay, yeah. So,
Sounds good.
budget's been acknowledged. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Right.
And going back to your question, I will communicate that to Tyler and to the sale committee.
Thank you.
Yep, got it. Any other great questions you guys have?
No.
Again,
Ms. Rita, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you guys. Thank you all for your support and peaceful questions. And if I could be of assistance to you guys or anyone at the office, please feel free to reach out to us or to them.
Appreciate it.
Okay?
Thank
you
you.
all.
All right, you have a great day. Thanks so much. Okay, next we have some appointments to make for the Birthplace of Kentucky. And for those of you that don't know, the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee is sort of like our Constitution Square Committee. They are advisory committee to the fiscal court, so things that they see that need to be addressed or concerns that they may have about Constitution Square, they meet, and then those concerns are shared with you all as the fiscal court. So we have 3 appointees today. We have Janet Hamner, we have George Coomer, and we have Tim Montgomery, and all these will be serving 3-year term ending March 1st of 2027. So if I could get a motion to approve the 3 appointments.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Magistrate Sleeper, second by Magistrate Gay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, so I have you guys come up and get your certificates. And we appreciate you all serving on the committee and helping the fiscal court to know what to do with, I have them in alphabetical order.
Okay, so I'm trying to rank them. So they're not really that much, are they?
No. All right, Miss Janet, Mr. George, and Mr. Tingle.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I like that pink ink.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. You want a picture? Okay, Julie wants a picture, so y'all can just come over this way a little bit. Come over here, Janet.
Show her a little certificate.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Awesome. All right, thank you all. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Sorry it took a little bit to get to you.
See y'all.
Have a good day. Okay, now, if you all will bear with me for the next few minutes, we have several proclamations that we need to acknowledge. The first one was Arbor Day, and this one was acknowledged on Facebook prior to our meeting today. Proclamation for Arbor Day, whereas the Commonwealth is blessed with diverse forests that extend from the hardwood forests of the east to the cypress sloughs of the west. Whereas trees are a sustainable resource providing significant environmental, economic, social, and human health benefits to Kentuckians. And whereas 1/3 of Kentuckians live in a community actively managing their urban forests, spending a total of $7 million on this asset. And whereas Kentucky Forest Products are a $13.5 billion green industry employing over 60,000 people. And whereas trees enhance our air quality, purify our water resources, protect our soil, supply a source of renewable energy, and provide valuable wildlife habitat. And whereas forests improve our health by offering a place of recreation and solace. And whereas trees and healthy forests enhance the quality of life for all Kentuckians. Now therefore, I, Trilly Bottom, Boyle County Judge Executive, hereby proclaim April 5th, 2024 as Arbor Day in the state of Kentucky, and urge all citizens across this great Commonwealth to participate in the observance of this day by planting a tree. Our reward and that of future generations will be a more beautiful Kentucky whose health and well-being are sustained by this great resource, our forests. Motion to approve the Arbor Day proclamation by Magistrate Ellis, second by Magistrate Sleeper. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Next is Earth Day, and Angie, if you would like to stand, I'll read this proclamation for you. And thank you for helping us to get this proclamation written. We appreciate that. Angie, you know, is our recycling person, which we need to recycle to keep our beautiful earth beautiful. So we appreciate her doing that. Whereas the annual celebration of Earth Day on April 22nd, 2024 will be observed around the world, focusing on planet versus plastics as this year's theme. And whereas Boyle County continues to confront environmental challenges that require us to recognize our role in the protection and restoration of the earth. And whereas Earth Day is an annual reminder of the constant need for outdoor and environmental learning, stewardship, local engagement, and achievement through sustainable community action. And whereas residents are encouraged to use Earth Day to celebrate our place on planet Earth through participating in the annual Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April the 20th, 2024, exploring and observing the beauty of Boyle County and its natural features, acknowledging that we need to find solutions for plastic waste and that ending plastic pollution is crucial to the survival of this planet and its inhabitants. Now therefore, I, Trilly Bottom, Boyle County Judge Executive, and the Boyle County Fiscal Court do encourage all members of the community to learn about, share, and celebrate the protection and restoration of the earth and our local environment, and do declare April 22nd, 2024 as Earth Day 2024. Thank you, ma'am. All right, next is National Public Safety. Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Magistrate Gay, second by Magistrate Sleeper. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Next is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and we have Miss Rebecca with us this morning. If you want to stand, we'll read this in honor of all the telecommunicators over at our 911 Center. We appreciate each and every one of you all for what you do to help our first responders, and you all have a hard job, and we recognize that. So we want to celebrate you the week of April the 14th through the 20th. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. Whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. Whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Danville 911 Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the 911 Center have contributed sustainability to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. Whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Trilly Bottom, and the Boyle County Fiscal Court declare the week of April the 14th through April 20th, 2024 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Boyle County, Kentucky, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and our citizens safe. Have a motion to approve the proclamation.
Make that motion. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Magistrate Bodner, second by Magistrate Cullen.
Discussion.
Discussion?
There may be no more important link in emergency situations. I know what Mike does, and that's extraordinary, but it has to start with the calls and the compassion and the intuitiveness of what really is behind a person in a panic situation. I'm not sure I'd be able to interpret the way you guys do, so God bless you for what you do.
Thank you. And if all the persons that proclamations are being read for, if you all can just stay till the end, we'll take a group picture with everybody. Can you do that, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the proclamations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, to the end, and we'll do them all.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
We want you to say some words at the end of the meeting.
I don't blame you.
We don't have very many more.
Need a vote.
All right.
Need a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We need a vote.
No, yes.
I interrupted you to make that
You may,
comment.
okay. All those in favor, y'all keep me straight. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you, Tom. All right, next is National County Government Month, which is all of you all around the table. April 2024, whereas the nation's 3,069 counties serving more than 300 million Americans provide essential services to create healthy, safe, and vibrant communities. Whereas counties provide health services, administer justice, keep communities safe, foster economic opportunities, and much more. And whereas Boyle County and all counties take pride in our responsibility to protect and enhance the health, well-being, and safety of our residents in efficient and cost-effective ways. Whereas this year's National County Government Month theme is consistent with NACO President Mary Jo McGuire's focus for the year, Forward Together. Forward Together is about connecting, inspiring, and leading pillars of county government that build trust and drive toward solutions. Whereas each year since 1991, the National Association of Counties has encouraged counties across the country to elevate awareness of county responsibilities, programs, and services. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Trilly Bottom, and the Boyle County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim April 2024 as National County Government Month and encourage all county officials, employees, schools, and residents to participate in county government celebration activities. I have a motion to approve the proclamation.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Magistrate Bodner, a second by Magistrate Gay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the proclamation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, at this time, we have a proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month, and I've asked Tammy Wilson with CASA to be here. Tammy, if you'd like to stand and you have someone with you.
This is Casey Atwood, she's
Casey.
our Program Development Coordinator.
All right,
Yes.
and we will read this on your all's behalf. April 2024 is Child Abuse Prevention Month, whereas children are vital to our state's future success, prosperity, and quality of life, as well as being our most vulnerable assets. Whereas all children deserve to have the safe, stable, nurturing homes and communities that need to foster their healthy growth and development. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a community responsibility affecting both the current and future quality of life of a community. Whereas communities that provide parents with social support, knowledge of parenting and child development, and concrete resources that need to cope with stress and nurture their children ensure all children grow to their full potential. Whereas effective child abuse prevention strategies succeed because of partnerships created among citizens, human service agencies, schools, faith communities, healthcare providers, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Trilly Bottom, and the Boyle County Fiscal Court proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, elected leaders, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion by Magistrate Gay,
Second.
second by Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Tammy, we thank you for what you all do and for putting the pinwheels out in the park. It represents child abuse, and while it's a beautiful thing, I've said this before, it's sad to know that each one of those pinwheels represents a child that's been abused.
Yes, and I think that right there just signifies that it's doing its purpose, though, that every time somebody walks by it, you all are stopping, pausing, and remembering and thinking about those children that we serve, and yes.
So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And that's awareness, but, you know, those, out of those, what, 180?
151.
Out of all those pinwheels, you know, there's so much child abuse that goes unreported.
Mhm.
So
Right.
we have to be very vigilant if we know that child abuse is going on to report it. I mean, actually, it's a misdemeanor, a failure to report neglect or abuse. So.
Thank you. Next, Magistrate Sleeper, could you see if Sissy's out in the hall, please? We need her in here for a moment. Sissy? And Elias and Jessica.
Everybody.
Come on in here. Hello. Okay, our last proclamation is to declare April the 14th to the 20th as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, and we have asked our shelter director and our ACOs to be here in order to have this proclamation for them. And they are right over here, Elias, Jessica, and Sissy. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association designated the second full week of April as National Animal and Control Appreciation Week. Whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers and animal services staff for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens, public safety, and domestic animals and livestock across the nation. Whereas every day, animal control officers and animal control technicians put themselves in potentially dangerous situations to protect the health and welfare of all kinds of animals and the public. Whereas Boyle County recognizes and commends the Animal Services Division personnel who answer calls for assistance, capture roaming and potentially dangerous animals, rescue animals, investigate reports of animal abuse, educate pet owners about responsible care, and mediate disputes between neighbors regarding their pets. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Trilly Bottom, and the Boyle County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim April the 14th through the 20th, 2024 as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week, and we sure do appreciate all three of you all for the jobs that you do. It's not an easy task to deal with animals running at large, or sick animals, or
People.
people and other animals. So, yeah, so we appreciate what you do. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Magistrate Sleeper, second by Magistrate Gay. Any discussion?
Appreciate what you guys do.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, now, if we can get, Julie, think we can get one group picture with everybody?
I do animal control separate.
Separate,
Everybody
okay.
else together.
All right, well, animal control, you all are standing, so you all come on up, and then we'll do our other ones.
And Angie can get in. We'll do county employees and community.
Okay, all right, Angie,
you
you
want
come
all of
on
us?
up. Yep, all three of you.
Jessica, they often get on me for being a wordsmith, but hey, you never had a problem with me, did you?
I'll do the government.
No.
Yeah.
You're a great teacher.
I'll do the county government. Okay, now, y'all just kind of spread over this way.
Can I have a piece of
Make it
paper
ours.
from mine?
You want to just do this one, don't you?
No, you too. You got your proclamation? No?
She got me.
I thought I handed it to you. One of y'all has got hers. Yeah, that one's over here.
Give me my phone.
Show the love. Come on.
Show the love. Squeeze in, squeeze in.
Come on, Elias. Get over there.
Suck it up.
All right. One. Let me get in a little bit closer. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. Appreciate what you do.
You want this back?
No, that's it. Okay. That's yours, Elias. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Susie, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we need, I gotta put that down, pick these up. Okay, now we can have Tammy and, that other girl, where'd she go? Right there, Rebecca.
Musical seats.
That other girl. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
Very nice. Thank you.
and we'll bring back, we didn't, yeah. Okay, and there's yours. Okay, all right. And I'll hold one of these. How about that? Yeah, can you get us all?
Rebecca, come in.
I won't
There
break,
you
I
go.
promise.
Perfect. Perfect. Love it. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Thank y'all very much. Yeah.
Appreciate you. I'll see you all at noon.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Okay, now we are up to Director Mike Rogers.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Fiscal Court. Excited today to be able to bring Mark Smith, our new social worker. I'll let him introduce himself and tell me a little bit about himself and his qualifications.
Hello.
Hello.
Excited to be here, excited to be a part of this team. I think we got our work cut out for us to get it started, but I think once it gets going, we'll be a well-oiled machine. But any questions for me?
Just tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. So previously I worked for hospice for about 5 years.
Here.
Heritage Hospice. And before that, did some line work, construction, and I was in the military for 8 years. So
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I think I'll enjoy this position, being out in the community, getting feet on the ground, and I know it'll be challenging, but it'll be worth it.
This morning I told you and Mike and the group that I think this is just a groundbreaking thing for our community, and it's been well needed. Nurses have known it forever, so we've
For people listening and observing, and often people through the week will be tuning in, describe what your responsibilities will take you into.
As of right now,
He's still figuring that out.
but yes.
It's a brand new thing.
It is. The clearest picture we got is to help EMS, Emergency Management Services, PD, kind of get out there and lessen the burden on them. The frequent calls, some of the non-emergent calls, the mental health calls that we can kind of address without being, to be as non-confrontational as possible, and basically lessen their burnout and stuff too, so they can take care of what they do and decrease some of their manpower hours as well.
Am I correct that it goes beyond that to all of our employees throughout the county?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, anybody having a crisis, you know, that's our goal.
This isn't just an employee thing.
Yeah, it's not just an employee thing.
I understand that.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, we would be able to offer the same assistance to anybody.
It's to meet the person where they are.
Right.
Yeah, so they don't have to go to jail or go to the emergency room. It's to meet them in the field where they are.
Give them some more options.
Right.
Referrals too.
Again, the big thing for the grant is someone calls 911 or be referred, having a mental health crisis, whether it comes to dispatch, we respond in a unmarked, non-traditional response of fire department, EMS, police department showing up, making kind of everything worse, and just trying to mitigate that without, you know.
And you mentioned a grant. Is that going to be sustained through the years, or will we roll this into our employment circumstances?
The grant's for a 3-year period of, it's a 90-10 match, the $850,000 that we got. There will be a lot of grants coming forward, so I think our primary goal is to support the program through the grant as long as possible. But part of the grant process is to sustainability of the program.
Good.
And so we're exploring some ways to do that as well.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Welcome.
Mark, welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks, Mike. Okay, next is Coroner Eric Guerrant with his first quarter report.
Good morning. This will fortunately be quick for you guys, but first quarter we closed 78 cases. We did 43 cremation authorizations to 35 scene responses. We had 28 what we consider to be natural deaths. We have 4 cases that are still pending. We had one that's going to probably be an undetermined circumstance depending further investigation. It was a case from out of county. We had 1 suicide, we had 1 overdose, and one of our pending cases is probably going to be an overdose as well. The good news, last year at this time, in the first quarter we reported 3 suicides, so we're down 66% on suicides, and we're down 75% on overdoses currently. So I think that speaks volumes to what our law enforcement partners do with the sheriff's office and the Payroll police department. Hopefully that trend will continue. I know this program will make a big impact on hopefully reducing coroner cases for suicides and overdoses. And we'll be working collaboratively with them and sharing data and sort of circumstances. And hopefully we'll get to a point when we have a suicide or overdose, we can review it with Mike and his team and try to come up with a better prevention plan. That's all I have.
Kind of a somber report, but we appreciate you coming.
Always a somber report.
Doctor,
sir.
And it might be you or Mike, but you and I were on that program 2 years ago. Has that legislation that passed 2 years ago had any negative impact where the Hospital Association was trying to move on emergency services?
Yeah, oh yeah. It did have a negative impact, and it's my opinion that it pushed EMS in the state back about 10 years because of everything that we were working on. It's been postponed or put off.
Won't you stand up, Mike?
The board,
Do we have to acknowledge his report at all? Or?
You can.
Okay.
Court can acknowledge your report.
The board is made up of not all EMS practitioners. If you compare that to like the nursing board, 16 out of them are nurses. The hospital, the EMS board now is made up of hospital administrators. There are some paramedics on there, nursing home administrators, and so it's not been good. Moving to state government, it's slowed everything down. They have a skeleton staff up there. It's really hard to hire people to get them on board all the time. I'm just wasn't a big fan of it in the first place, but it's not helped the paramedic problem. We still have a paramedic shortage. I'm talking about it a little bit this morning in our EMS committee meeting. the infrastructure for providing paramedics in the state is bad, and we're working through that. We're working on it through BCTC, but it takes time. As a state, we're putting out 125 paramedics a year. The Board of EMS is keeping track of the numbers, and we're losing 150 paramedics a year. So that's the problem. If you think about the 125 paramedics we're putting out a year, remember that Louisville, Lexington, and Frankfort all have their own paramedic program, and so the lion's share of all those paramedics stay at those services.
I recall that we donated one of our older ambulances here at BCTC. Is that helping to enhance that program for us?
Yeah, it's just taking some time. I met with BCTC this month, and we're in full partnership with them. They're going to send their students, and we'll have certain things that we're going to go over and train them on, hopefully to reduce the onboarding time of a paramedic. Because when a brand new, what we're seeing through the colleges is that they'll EMT straight to paramedic, and they come out, they don't have to load a stretcher, and it's just, and so we're trying to, if they teach the book knowledge, send them to us, we'll teach them the street, everything they need to know about equipment and 12 leads and all that kind of stuff, and so it's a good partnership. But the first paramedic class doesn't start until August, so.
Great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Ryan.
Every time I drive by BCTC and I see that ambulance,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's our ambulance.
There's our ambulance. Yeah, I do the same
That's
thing.
donated by Boyle County on the side of it.
Yeah. All right, next is Shannon Greene with approval for a training incentive.
Yes. I would like to ask for approval to pay for Paula Bogner's training incentive.
Oh my.
So moved, as long as she's buying lunch.
Second.
I have a motion by Magistrate Gay, a second by Magistrate Dillon. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I think John should get 80%.
I'll tell him.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion passes. They do have your address spelled wrong, though.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Is Casey out there?
Yes.
Okay, send him in.
I think he's out there doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get a penny.
Good morning, County Clerk.
Good morning.
You're straight, put your phone down. Thank you.
First quarter report.
Yeah, just here to present the first quarter report. Really nothing to report of change. The numbers are about the same as they were last year. Just maybe just a little lower, but nothing significant or anything like that. So.
Truly, you just step it up then.
Okay.
I just wondered about that list of our roads. Is there a way to generate that now? The list in the county?
By magistrate.
By magistrate, yeah.
I don't think we got the GO.
We still don't have an ability to do that. I'd just love to have that.
I think that probably would be better coming through Bluegrass Ad.
Yeah.
Bluegrass Ad,
Yeah.
all right.
I think that.
I can give you the map, but it doesn't have the roads broken down in the
Right.
district.
I want the exact roads, that's.
I can give
Yeah.
you an
We
outline.
literally split a couple roads.
Do you
so-
want all roads or county roads?
County roads.
All county
Well-
roads in her
That are in
district.
my district, or his district.
All
Do
roads.
that with the-
We may be able to. I wasn't sure, that's why I didn't want to say
I
that.
know-
I know.
I told Katina
No
that,
extra work for you.
No, I was
Blue
gonna
grass
ask
ad.
Roger.
I said that we needed, that's the one thing I knew the roads, but I didn't really know the
Yeah, 'cause
names.
some of them were.
Yeah.
one
I know,
side
go
of
over the
so.
hill.
Yeah.
So I need, when you're brand new starting.
And if you ever have any
yes.
questions, you can call us, you can call me and I
And
can
let you
it up.
look, okay, we had Tom and I had a question, we
Just this
weren't
week.
sure if it's his district or my district, we both.
Do the
had-
magistrate maps have all the roads on them, or like
No,
the individual?
It just has some
The
main,
main
it has all
roads.
the main roads, and some just,
Yeah, so it wouldn't have all.
it wouldn't have all of
Yeah,
them.
I was thinking that might be one
Yeah.
option. That might be an option, though.
And I've ordered maps from Bluegrass Ad, talked to them last week or week before, but I'm assuming that they're gonna send me the same maps that.
So you're saying some of the roads would not even be on the ad district's map?
Not the ones that they're sending, no. I mean, it'll be like that
Yeah.
one, the old one up there that's
Yeah.
just got main roads and
Well, how do we get that?
Bluegrass Ad.
That's what,
We just call Bluegrass Ad, I can do that. Yeah.
Now, for the county, this is pretty detailed.
Yeah, I mean,
For the county
for the
road,
county,
it's
yeah.
pretty detailed.
I had this funny thing on my phone called.
you can
Google
pretty
Maps.
much, you can take that map and look at it and
But
say.
But it doesn't show your
designate it.
district, it doesn't say that's your district.
Oh, I know.
So, I know my district, but not since the reappointment. It's changed a little bit, and if you're out in the county,
Yeah,
it
yours
makes a
changed,
big difference.
yours changed the most.
Yes,
Right.
exactly, so I wanna make.
And you've got all the streets inside the city
Yes,
of Junction.
yeah, and I know, that's good, that's easy to do.
It's where we come together.
It's where, it's the joint.
Okay, the court does not have to approve the first quarter report, but you do have to acknowledge that the report was given.
Acknowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, last but not least, our
Let's talk glass.
recycling director, Angie Muncy, is going to talk glass with us.
Glass
Well,
is
I've
half
talked a
full.
whole lot. You should have a paper that I had
Oh, yeah.
Katina send you.
Yes.
That sort of give you the breakdown of why we don't and why I still don't. I'm sure you've all read it. If you have any questions, I'm
Why we
here.
stopped as well.
You just go ahead and talk us through it.
But,
Yeah, for the public.
really,
For the audience.
really.
For the listening audience.
Okay, so basically, when I came here in 2018, we had a 20-yard at Ghost Pike that people were throwing glass in. There was shards everywhere. Either one of the employees were getting cut, or people complained they got a flat tire. I found out Republic really wasn't taking them anywhere to be recycled. They were taking them to the landfill. So basically, it was more hindrance than anything. The China sword hit, and I'm sure, I know Tom has heard this China, Jason has, Jamie, they've been here. The China sword basically is China decided they didn't want the United States as junk. They wanted us to clean it up. Clean up your recycling or we don't want it. That's just a short version of the China sword. So basically, there's so much trouble, wasn't worth anything, I stopped it. I stopped it.
In other words,
Which,
the county
you
was not
informed
making
us.
any money
No.
off of the glass.
No.
And for the record, Angie informed us as a court at that point, so that's important that,
And it was
it wasn't a
going-
unilateral decision.
It was going to the dump, I mean.
Well, that's
wasn't
the
being
bigger thing.
recycled.
It's like, you could feel good that it's going in a recycling bin, but at the end of the day, it's going to a landfill.
Going to a landfill.
And it's not being recycled.
Yeah, and it was told, well, it was just like paper, there for a while, Lexington had shut down. They had quit taking paper and stuff for a long time, and, people were calling, well, I don't know why they ain't doing that. Well, come out, we'll show you why,
So it's.
But, I'm gonna say this in reference to what I wrote here, it's all negative, and I understand that. But I am not totally against ever not doing it again. You have to have space to do recycling. As you can see, you have to have space, we have to have somewhere to put it because it takes so much. And I don't have the employees to do even what proper glass recycling even, requires us to do. You have
need a
3
bigger
separate
space.
colors.
You need a bigger space.
You need space
Bigger
to put
space.
it. And I mean, we're gonna pay, like I said, $72 to $74 to process this Gaylord box. And I can sell it for maybe $10.
This is the old thing of I bought watermelons for $1 and I sold them for 70 cents and I made it up in volume. Our taxpayers would be paying $7, $8, $9 and getting back $1 for it. And it just.
And I know they realize, it's their tax money, but, all of it is their tax money.
Yeah, so it's a very
I've
significant loss.
tried to be conscientious of the money part with employees. I've quit hiring floaters. So I've got my recycling employees, I got a few of them trained that they can go to the centers to work so they can take off. So if we add this glass in, if we was to do this right now, we don't have time, we don't have the manpower.
Would it still be taken to the landfill?
Pretty much it'd end up there because as this says, it's like paper. Once paper is wet, it's trash. Same way with glass. Once it's broken, and the contamination that I would have, you know, with just a broken glass right now, if it gets in the cardboard, if it gets in the paper, it goes to the mill and tears their machine up, then we're not getting paid for the product that we have that could make money. So it's a contamination issue as well.
It also affects the other things being recycled, those things get just tossed.
That's the contamination part of it.
So you put in here, which I've been reading a lot about since I called you, about single stream recycling. You know, where everything is kind of commingled in some ways, and then it's, you know, then it has to be sorted through. Well,
that is single stream.
Yeah. So paper and cans and stuff like that can technically be easily.
And we have that separated now. If you come out there and you get on the sorting line,
right,
you see how we separate everything. Correct. Now.
Glass, you can't really do that with.
No, it's very hard. It was just like putting the magnetic conveyor in. You know, we were losing a lot of them lids and stuff. You know, it's hard to pick up, but you know, by getting the magnetic conveyor, you know, that's extra quick. Well, they don't make nothing for glass.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get little shards of glass that you don't see, it's going down that conveyor and it's getting thrown into something that we don't see it.
But and so I know there is a dollar figure that we're trying to make sure that, you know, we're good stewards of our tax dollars.
Well, you know, I get the comment that, well, are you really making any money anyway? Is it all? It's not. Recycling's not all about the money.
It's not.
Recycling will never be profitable.
No, but
But it helps.
I would love for you to reach out to Republic and just verify about, you know, this is what we had in the past. Can you confirm if we have glass where it will go, where it ends up, kind of thing? That would be helpful as well, because.
Well, right now, in Danville, when they recycle, it's in their containers and it goes to Lexington. You know, Lexington's probably got a big enough spot. I don't know how they do with their shards and if they're profitable or anything else. I mean, I can reach out to Tracy Thurman in Lexington and just, you know, talk to her and see what they say.
Well, more than just the cost, the revenue from it. You have to look at the safety factor.
It's a big safety.
Safety
Our workers'
to our
comps
employees.
want to, you know.
And where the recycling center is right now on the bypass, there is no room.
Oh, no.
To collect glass. I mean, it's
That's
all
why I said I wasn't
full.
totally against it. If we ever get a place that's big enough,
yes,
that we can make a separate room, and you know, I still wouldn't be what you call totally for it, but I wouldn't be totally against it. I mean, it's something we can do.
Well, we'd also have to have it only in one location, I would say, because, you know, you would really have to police what goes in those.
And we already have to do that now.
Yeah, because it says, you know, glass recycling can only be taken by clear, green, amber. Caps, labels must be removed, and everything must be rinsed as well.
And people don't, you know, we have the ones that don't rinse stuff, the plastics now like they're supposed to, which we end up having to throw away. You know, I can't hire a dishwasher.
Right.
I mean, it's the truth.
No, it's the
just,
truth. Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what they were? I think at one point I read in the paper a long time ago. I know that Lincoln County didn't have a jail, but that jailer or something had some kind of program, and it was like a glass recycling where they sold it, and it was like used in like landscaping, that kind of like glass.
They make them type of pulverizers now that makes it down into sand.
Terrible.
But that's
I know the person that was doing that actually worked for the jail, and she was doing that, pulverizing that herself and using inmate labor on a private level. So it was
Well, maybe not doing that. I just
it's not a good idea.
Since they don't do that anymore, that would be something maybe in the future. Like if they have that machine sitting around, we can maybe buy it off of them, or they give it to us. Do some kind of like kind of exchange.
There's grants
if we had a building.
But we still have to have the space in the building to even consider.
My worry is the contamination and where it ends up.
That was always my biggest concern.
You know, it's kind of like, okay, if we can get this glass to work, but if it's going to really mess up all of the other recycling that we're doing, and then it all ends up in the landfill.
And
instead
it's
of some
took
of
us
the
this
glass.
many years to get things, you know, where
Yeah.
we don't have, we still have contamination, but it's, I would give our contaminate maybe 10% at this point, you know?
Yeah.
And just, and I know glass, little shards, we don't see, we can break a glass at home and clean it up and we'll find a shard later with our bare feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
right.
it's just.
Because it splinters everywhere.
Right. You
But
almost
then
have to have a
there's-
separate room.
Have
Oh,
to.
yeah, absolutely. Separate space altogether. I mean,
Safety.
same location, but separate space.
It just needs a big
Hazmat
space.
suits.
And then you have, you know, where you gonna send it? Do you want all your convenience centers? Because,
No.
like I said, people want to rummage. They want to rummage so bad they can't stand it. And then when they're rummaging in it, like they were before, of course, you don't want that, you know, it breaks and then you have it.
Well, then
have the
there's
same
certain
problem.
glass recyclables that you can't accept either.
There's
Right.
that
Light
also.
bulbs.
And we're gonna get it all.
Dishes.
Yeah, Pyrex dishes.
Pyrex dishes I put in there, I mean,
Yeah,
frosted
I mean-
glass, I mean, glass from your windshield, glass from your house, none of that's recyclable.
So it's basically bottles.
But it'd be the same as plastic,
But
we
not
don't
all
take your refrigerator for Cool Whip bowls and butter bowls, but because it's plastic, it's just like I said, they'd rather be overachievers and just get rid of it than to take the time to know. So glass is just, everybody knows my stance on it, and I tried my best to give.
And then, yeah, outside
Complete
of
reason
outside
why.
of the workers' comp, you also have the issue of, you know, people getting glass in their tires and stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
why
why
I
I say it
stopped
has
it
to
in
be
the first
one
place.
place or whatever. So, well, if you could get the answers on Republic and talk to Lexington and just kind of follow up with us, I would appreciate it.
But now you gotta remember, we're not Lexington.
Well, you're very much not.
They just got a huge grant too, they got robotics in place, they have, and same way with Rumpke. If you ever get to Cincinnati and watch their recycling, it's a dream come true. I mean, everything is robotic, you know, you have these things going like this and sorting for you, and, you know, it's something we'll probably never, as a county, you'll never see. Because
Yeah.
we don't have, you know, $30-50 million to put into something, but, and that's a
Yeah.
big thing why Lexington and Louisville can get away with things like that. But I will check.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
That's
that.
not a
I
problem.
think we have to answer the question, do we want to get into the sand business, recycling? Because glass is not.
Oh, yeah, if we was on the beach, I'd love to be in the sand business, but
Glass is just 98%
I use my comp time
sand.
too, more probably.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean,
Well,
it's
Angie,
just,
Thank you for producing this report for us. It makes it clear that glass recycling is not something we want to get into at this time.
I would suggest we have a bigger place where, you know, right now I'm out of room.
Right.
I've expanded all I can. Because we get a bigger space, I'd like to do the styrofoam and the foam recycling, you know, as well. But right now I can't grow except for what we got and make it good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
Appreciate it.
report.
Thank
Thanks, Angie.
You do a good job.
I try.
Yes, ma'am. You did. All right, magistrate reports, and today we will start with Magistrate Sleeper. Unless you'd like me to go to someone else.
No, I don't have much to report on. Most of this is future events.
Okay.
Since next week is Animal Care and Control Week, I'd like to encourage and reiterate to everybody, show your appreciation to our ACOs and our shelter director during this coming week. The next Economic Development Authority meeting will be this coming Monday on the 15th, and the next Homelessness Task Force meeting will be Tuesday the 16th, 4:30 at the Extension Office, Room 104. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Judge. First, I'd like to check on the seeking of bids to repair the bell tower.
I have a report, I was gonna give it to you when it came around. if that's
Okay, I'll wait. I think I've gotten a message out to everybody that during the General Assembly, the majority leader of the House, David Meade, who is a personal friend, was successful in getting $62 million for the development of a joint venture economic development park that will pull together Lincoln, Guerrant, and Rockcastle County. Beyond the 62 million, they have another 20 million that's been invested in getting them gas lines to that property. I'm hoping that there will be positives that come for us, but my grave concern is that we're already 800 to 1,000 employees short here in this county. And I think I've said this before to the west, when the new battery factory opens up, and those folks are making $25 to $30 an hour with unbelievable compensation packages, including a subsidized cafeteria and a gym to work out in. We have to be concerned from an economic development standpoint that we're so short on employees right now, and I know we're going to have an employee fair coming up here in a couple of days, but we need to be very attentive to the impact on Boyle County of an out-migration when we don't have enough employees to begin with. I'm very upset and will be submitting for our files an email I wrote yesterday to the city manager of Danville for the 6th time in a month and a half in installing a 12-inch new water line to hook up with a joint venture with Washington County. Danville City Water Company has burst the line, which is having incredible impacts on everything from fire to the economics of having a restaurant in Perryville to clearing your lines with, as one person has stated, 20 gallons of mud coming through and then paying for the sewer tax on those 20 gallons every time that something goes. Your ice maker, if you happen to have a refrigerator with an ice maker with muddy water into your ice, and that trickling water that you get for a glass of water. So I've written to the city with copies to the entire commission talking about the possibility of some compensation going to the residents of greater Perryville area for these 6 breaks and breaches in the line, which have just caused all kinds of consternation among my constituents. If you go on Facebook, you can see some of the comments that are being made, both personally when I've posted it and through other sites that people are putting on. It just has to be taken care of by Danville City government. We got a call jointly on Wolford Bridge, and Counselor, I know that one of your colleagues has written to me. I guess she's not aware that you and I have at least communicated with the email that I sent you a copy of about Wolford Bridge.
I mean, I'm familiar with that project. I know all about it. I think one issue we have to go through, my understanding is you get approval from the state water.
And federal too.
Or whatever, so, I mean, I talked to Roger yesterday, and he kind of went through what he feels is a good plan to fix that erosion problem that's going on. There's like an old channel or path of flow that you can see from an aerial, and if they can maybe redirect that with the trees that are already existing through that woods part, it will help hold that soil in place, hopefully to control that issue. So I mean, it's a process, and I'm willing to help any way possible to apply to get the permission to do it.
Brian's going to reach out to the Division of Water and have someone, a field person, come down here and actually walk it and look at it.
That's very important, because this has been a problem for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm glad we're finally going to be able to move forward on it. And then last, Julie, when is our ethics document due to you?
The end of the month.
End of this month, okay, thank you. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you for your report. Mr. Bowden.
And I did want to mention that they do have a jobs fair and expo at the showroom, and that's April the 11th from 10 to 2, and so that should be good. Also, the only other thing I have is we had in our budget for this year $50,000 that was a matching grant funds, and I want to make a motion to amend the current budget to allow the $50,000 matching grant fund to be used as Junction City Park funds. And so I just want to take the match, we did not get the federal grant. And so that money is sitting there, it's for Junction City Park, and that would get us a good start on starting the process.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to use the $50,000 in matching grant funds for Junction City Park funds. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Magistrate Ellis, second. Any discussion?
This was already designated for the park in
Yes.
Junction.
Yes.
We just didn't get the grant. So
Grant.
we have- our match is still in the budget.
Have we worked through the ownership
I have
situation
a
of
meeting
the park?
that I've been working, and it's been spring break, and I am working on that. So I still say it's always going to be a Junction City Park. So, it's going to be a park, and there's a 99-year lease right now, but we're still working on some things with that are really, really encouraging. It's just a matter of getting the people together. So
How many years are we into the lease?
nobody can tell me for sure.
It's a
Maybe
perpetually 99-year lease.
I don't think that every year we run.
I know, right?
I think
know
we're good.
this. Let me think about this. I think we're like a third of the way in.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah,
30 is.
30, yeah.
We've got a long
Well,
time
some
to
of
go.
you
I
might
do know
have
that
60
because we
years
looked that
left.
up for the grant. I might.
So, but what your motion is simply to move it out of the
Matching grant.
matching grant and put it, where are we putting it?
Junction City
Junction
Park.
Junction City Park.
Which is what it was gonna go for anyway.
No, I understand that, but is there a line item for Junction City Park? I guess that's my question.
Not this time.
Because if we have to, I guess we have to create a line item.
We have to add a line.
Right.
Is what I'm trying
That's
to
what I
get at.
said, to amend it. Oh, I did, yeah, I did say amend it
Yeah.
to, so I guess that would include making it.
You
To
make it a
create
line
a line item for Junction
Yes.
City Park is what
Yes.
you want.
Signed
Yes.
in 97. The lease was signed in 97.
We're good.
So we're.
Park
I
equipment
thought
will
we
go
had
by
3.
That's good. That's the first time I've heard that number,
So
that date.
25 years into a 100-year lease.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really, really favorable that some things are gonna change, but I'll wait till they change.
Yeah.
Just a point of history,
Which is
Tom
good.
Mills signed the agreement as Will County Superintendent.
Who
Tom
did-
Mills.
Tom Mills.
Oh, that's good. Yes.
All right, any other discussion on the motion?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Enthusiastic aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Excited. I didn't even say aye, yes. That's too excited.
You got so excited you forgot to vote. All right,
That's good.
is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you for your report. Magistrate Harmon.
Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Entrance. You got any word on that?
Yes, they are still working on it, but it is set to hopefully open, they said, but I attended the city commission meeting last night, and the gas line people were there, and CJ May was there. And he said they hope to have it open by the end of this month, if not within the couple weeks into the next month.
And Commissioner Holland spoke on the radio this morning about it. That was one of the main things she emphasized. And apparently Mr. May is thinking of quite the development back
Oh,
there
he
now.
says that he's got a lot coming as soon as they can get this road opened.
When you got an anchor like Chick-fil-A, it kind of helps.
It sure does.
does.
Sure does. Yeah.
I know that's hurt them as a business.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
It is. Because they're out of mind. Because they're out of sight.
If you know, you know, though.
Those of us that know.
Smell the chicken.
They had about a 15-car backup as I drove by this morning.
Yeah. But it will be nicer for them to
Yeah.
have the original entrance
It will.
opened and then make room for other establishments to come in.
Right.
That'd be great.
That's all I got.
All right, thanks, sir. Master Cullen.
I'm going to read some committee reports here.
All right.
So this morning we met with the EMS committee. We were introduced to Mark Smith, who's working with the social work for the new grant that we received. I think we were the only county to receive that grant, correct?
3.
No, there was 7 other counties that.
We were awarded first, though, right?
Yeah.
Give me some.
We were in the top 3, weren't we? In the top 3 to be awarded?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
It's right up there with our football team. We're good.
That's
There you
right.
go.
All right. They've done some updating in the station, just a little bit of cosmetic stuff. while they're waiting for us to get them a nicer spread. So that's all done, and working on the kitchen floor. Grant update, they started some policies and procedures there. The day shifts have been extremely busy, averaging around 15 runs per shift. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. What's normal average?
Well, I mean, anywhere from 10 to 20, but 10 is usually the average, but it goes up and down. But they've been doing, like the other day they had 10 runs before 10 a.m. And so, but they've seen a lot of days where they've been 22 runs in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's just been really busy all day.
So as you're over at Chick-fil-A, stop by, pick up some chicken minis for them and drop them off. They would appreciate it.
I've been there and done that.
And that leads me into runs for March were 632. And considering last month, I think it was 593 if I remember correctly. So that's a lot of runs, and these are hard runs. I mean, there are a lot of good success stories that they have, but I mean, this is a lot of trauma that our employees are seeing. So just at a minimum, keep them in your prayers. But really, when you see them out, thank them. Whatever you can do, and really just they do a fantastic job. So and then we also had an update from Terry Dunn, and there's numbers here, but some of it's looking a little better. So his presence in the community is being seen. So, and I'll submit that for
just the EMS committee report.
EMS committee. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I have a motion from Magistrate Cullen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Magistrate, who was it?
Sleeper.
Sleeper, okay. Any discussion on the report? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Board appointments. Can we start getting like resumes or something like that for people that are that we're putting out for boards, just so we have an understanding? Like, we talk about it, like, oh, this person does this, but if we could get some sort of resume that qualifies them, or we feel that qualifies them for what we're appointing them for, it kind of helps us, when we're approving that.
I didn't say that this morning, but the 3 that were appointed this morning were reappointments. They already serve on the board.
Correct. Yep.
So would you prefer an application process maybe? Other communities do that.
Yeah, I mean.
Where you just kind of put.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good. Good suggestion.
Appreciate that. Buster Pike, I've been having conversations with the engineers on Buster Pike. It's a mess. We know it. We apologize. The end result will be great, though. We did something before we had a catastrophe out there. That bridge was going.
Yeah.
We stood on it many a times as a single car went across, and you have to hold on because it's shaking so bad. So I apologize to those that are in that area, but the process, and this is not an easy process, trying to figure out, again, the Norfolk Southern didn't want a bridge there. They wanted us to tear it down, call it a day. We fought hard to get a bridge, and this is no easy feat, because how far the tracks have been raised, that bridge with that short span, and to be able to get cars, I mean, it was almost a walking bridge at that point, because no cars were going to be, but the engineers I've been talking with, Laura from the engineering firm, we've been having conversations, and so we're really pushing for like a August, September letting, and
aren't we basically at the mercy of Norfolk Southern for them to decide
anybody that
when they're
lives
gonna move?
near a train track knows we're at the mercy of the train system.
Yeah.
But that is actually one of the conversations I've started to have with our congressman, who has his Representative Comer, who has his office here in Danville. I've started the conversations with him to get some sort of relief for communities that have railroads that come through. because they're about the only ones that can help us.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
anyway,
you.
so
Would
in
it
our,
help to put a press release out with some updates? Are you getting complaints?
Well, I get lots of emails about it.
Would it be helpful to kind of give everybody an update?
Yes.
Okay, I'll work on it.
I think
Yes.
so too.
Okay.
You know,
And
if you
sorry to
have the television media out there to show the chasm that now exists and the inability of people to move, EMS to rescue, fire
Well,
to get there.
we had an incident the other day where the church couldn't have something out there because there was construction or something happening that blocked the road at both trains areas. So I mean, yes, I mean that's always been our push. That was our major push to getting the bridge redone.
I think that Norfolk would pay attention if they got that kind of media, because that's how we got 800, oh yes, 800 tons of rock came down. It'll work, trust me.
Well, I'm gonna go. Yeah, thank you, Tom, for that. So yes, if we could get some sort of press release, news release, you may want to turn the comments off if you're going to put it on Facebook. But I mean, we're yeah, like the judge said, we are kind of hands are tied with this. We're working as quickly as we can. I mean, it took pushing from the judge and myself to start organizing bi-weekly meetings to really hold the train Norfolk Southerns, to the fire, saying we need dates.
It's
we
just
need
a slow
the
process.
measurements. It's
Yeah.
it's like riding a train.
Much too slow for me.
It's slow, yes.
Yeah.
All right, we've mentioned the job fair, but I think we need to mention it several times because, this is going to be a huge amount of people there looking to hire. So whether you've got a job, you're looking for a job, you're looking for an upgrade, please come out. There's some good quality options coming. On the 20th over at Danville, they're going to have their first fly-in of the year. So if you love planes, I happen to like them, come on out. To the fly-in. There's usually food and stuff like that there too. Speaking of food, on the 21st, barbecue lunch over at the showroom for the youth and investment sale. They'll be selling lunch platters, so make sure y'all make it out to that and buy a couple. And then going back to recycling, the library is going to have a doc shredding on the 22nd. So any of your safety documents that you need to get rid of, Chris, I'm sure you got some. So you can take them over to the library. We'll have doc shredding, and then finally we're getting some warm weather, which automatically makes me think about Pioneer Playhouse, and it's their 75th year, and unfortunately, Mrs. Henson has passed. It was always great going in, having dinner, and getting a song or two by her, but. So please help them celebrate the 75th year. Buy your tickets for the season, and let's make it an even better year than it normally is. So that's all I have.
Did I hear you say the investment in youth are actually going to have that
I'm
luncheon?
almost positive.
Yes,
That's-
it's a barbecue luncheon
Yep.
on April 21st.
They have it every year over there, and
Well, investment in youth has not had it every year because they've been shut out for the last 3 years.
No.
This is not the sale.
Well,
This is their barbecue dinner.
This is their
To raise money.
fundraising
Fundraiser at the showroom.
at the showroom, not the extension office. Has nothing to do with them. I went to it last year. I went
Yeah,
to it the
they
year
have,
before.
this is just their fundraiser barbecue dinner.
Yes, I'll give you exact times.
And you can even go and pick it up. You don't have to eat there. You
Right.
can take out.
So from
I've done that several
11:30 to 1:30 p.m. at the showroom. $12 tickets includes a barbecue sandwich, sides, drink, and a dessert. Hosted by the Boyle County Investment and Youth Livestock Club.
Excellent, good, thank you.
Yeah.
It's good too. It's really good barbecue.
It is the 20th.
Oh, it's not the 21st. It's the 20th.
20th.
The
Oh,
20th.
fly-in.
The 20th is the fly-in.
Fly-in's the 20th.
Okay.
Barbecue lunch is 21st.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Job
on-
fair
that's
on
on
11th.
Sunday.
Okay.
Dock shredding on the 22nd.
Pioneer Playhouse.
Pioneer Playhouse all summer long. Get your tickets before they get sold out.
All right. Thank you, Magistrate Cullen.
Thank you.
It will sell out.
Magistrate Gay.
I'm good.
You good? All right.
His county roads are all taken care of. So
That's right. I yield my county road money to those that have county roads.
Jason.
Thanks so much. All right, Chris.
Just a couple things.
How about, we start with Steve.
Sorry.
It's been so long, I forgot.
There's a production at the Boyle County Performing Arts Center starting this week, April 11th through 13th, and then April 18th through 20th, production of Mean Girls. I help coach tennis, and a lot of my tennis boys and girls are in this play, so it'll be good to get this play over with so we can get them back. But it'll be very good. But also, it's a very good play, and they're very talented. So
And my nephew's in it.
I encourage everyone to get out there and to fill the seats there at the Performing Arts Center. It's a very nice facility. Also, yesterday I got an email from her name's Jenny Reed, and she's the Kentucky Traffic Safety Resource Prosecutor. She helps us when we're prosecuting DUI trials. We can call her up. She's like the Rich Ornstein of DUIs. Like, you can call her up, she can tell you what all the cases or other situations involving traffic situations where we may prosecute. And so I saw an email where they were having a program in Madison County in a couple weeks about, it's called Cops in Court, which is a great program where they educate our officers and deputies on going to court and, you know, how to be prepared, how to testify. They even have like a mock trial. So I immediately emailed her and I said, can we get this in Boyle County? Because that's very, you know, would be very important. And she immediately emailed me back, and I've got the date of June the 7th. They're going to come down here, and it's great because the officers and deputies can get 8 hours of KLEC training credit towards, I think I might have to have 40 hours, or some do, so, and it's free. And if they don't provide lunch for the officers through this program, the county attorney's office will provide lunch for them for this program. I think it's great. It's going to be very important to educate our officers on, you know, the proper way to testify in trial and how to be prepared. So I'm really excited to get that here.
That's good.
And I think we can fill it up.
Oh, yeah. I'd say so.
Other than that, breast band's around the corner. It'll be here before we know it. I don't remember the exact date, but it's towards the
30th through the 1st.
Yeah, it's the end of May.
Okay, it's in May this time instead of June, so coming up right away. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, Guerrant. Ms. Julie?
Okay, quite the list.
Oh, Chris forgot to mention something.
Oh yes, I'd like to congratulate Jason Cullen. He is the king of the courthouse as far as the NCAA bracket challenge goes.
Buy lunch today.
This nonprofit bracketology expert, he picked UConn and Purdue to match or to meet in the finals, and picked UConn to win. So it was a close one. And
15
better go buy a lottery ticket.
I'm saying it was a close one between the second competitor, which ended up being my cousin in Florida, so he was very disappointed. But congratulations to Jason.
It helps win about 80% of the bracket is picking UK to win. So
I was going to go to Burger King and get like a crown and like crown him today, but I didn't have to.
I'll accept it later.
I didn't have to.
All right, Ms. Julie.
Okay, Chris and I are going to jointly report on Alum Springs. Some of you know there's an encroachment issue with the survey, and so you have...
All right, thank you for that. So we met with our county surveyor, Rich, and there's a little portion over there at the, what do you call it, the recycling center down there. Convenience center there, down there in Junction on Alum Springs, and where you can tell there's an area from the aerial map that you can see the lines, and then you can see where this person has removed that part of the fence and created a little, well, actually inner area, giving him some space to dump a bunch of things, and just
acres, not
3 acres.
dirty it up, you know, quite a bit, and
cut down trees. And
so I've written a letter, given 30 days to
clean it up,
or face, you know, prosecution potentially, or, you know, use all potential means valuable to me to
Encourage.
get it done.
Right.
How long has this been like this?
I don't know exactly.
Long time.
But it hasn't been like, it hasn't been the time period that you're.
Okay.
And plus, I mean, you still, to do that, you have to go through a process for, you don't just get land from adverse possession, you still have to do a circuit court hearing.
Julie
and so
has
forth.
the dates because she's looked at two
It's
different.
interesting, Lucretia's we've subscribed through the GIS service that you all approved. We were able to look back and the map happened to be 15 years, which is the threshold. And he wasn't in there on that 15-year look.
And
So-
actually,
Coming up, when did it first appear? Do you remember?
It's not sequential enough to be able to tell.
Okay.
So, but I know it wasn't 15 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
to throw a little wrench or whatever into this situation, I looked it up and actually back in the day did a divorce proceeding regarding this land just in general, and the husband received it and he was supposed to refinance it within a certain time period, which he never did. And so I researched on CourtNet, and there's actually a foreclosure suit going on currently regarding that land. So I maybe need to enter that proceeding to preserve our land within that
Absolutely.
Right.
foreclosure suit.
Yes, absolutely.
It was very fortuitous that we started this survey when we did.
It was, yeah.
But it's one of the things I just like look back and when did something happen? And like, oh, last
A lot
month
of things have happened that way.
It's just really weird how that's going
It's
on.
meant to be.
That's going on
Yeah,
too.
it was
So
meant to be.
that could be a thing where if you're getting foreclosed upon, you might not do anything. I don't know. But I would think that if this person's lived there for the time period that they have, that they would want to make that right and get it going. So we'll see.
So they have a home there and they've abducted 3 acres of ours.
They're just putting junk up in there and
Yeah, it's
cutting
just
trees down and.
There's a good aerial that shows exactly what's
Right. I mean, you can clearly see where.
It's really nice little flat.
Where it used to go straight across, and now it's there's comes into our
loop. Yeah.
So, also, I just want to update you that we met with Rich about Old Stanford Road, and he is starting the process of making that a road. Probably will have to go to planning and zoning, so it's not going to be a quick process, but we still think we can get it done within 6 to 9 months. Chris suggested something that I've been working on, and that is to get our ordinances online. And there is a service that does that, and as part of the budget process, I spoke to this man yesterday, and it's about $15,000, but they go through all your ordinances and match them up with KRS as part of this to make sure that your language is up to date and current. And the city does this. You probably, Jamie, are familiar with this. They also give you a book of ordinances at the end, which we've never had here. I think that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And then they also put them in the legal library online so people can search them. And right now, the public has no access to our ordinances.
Yeah, that's
great.
desperately needed.
Yes.
That'd be great, because I mean, it's when I go in there and try to look up stuff anyway, it's like
Can't imagine.
almost impossible. It's just funny how some things are indexed, have been indexed for 100 years, or whatever. So that'll be a great thing. And I think I mentioned, I mean, there's potential that you could get a grant through the Kentucky Library, something.
He said there's some kind of holdup right now. He said they're either out of money or something. He said if you're going to go that route, it's going to take a lot longer than if you do this. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the holdup is with the library and archives.
Did we find out, and then how much is it per year?
It's about $12.50
$12.50 a year to maintain.
and they'll review again any new KRS legislation and make sure that our ordinances don't need updated. None of us do that. I mean, we don't have a lobbyist up there to tell us what the changes are in all the laws. They'll do that for us.
That's awesome. I think
It is.
that's awesome.
It's
We've got
wonderful.
to do that.
So the farmer's market starts on the 27th, and so as part of the process of updating the lease, I've learned that there is a new market manager. The chamber is not over the market anymore. I don't know who this person is that's the market manager, so I've reached out on your behalf and asked for a copy of the board members, who's the point of contact, are you a 501c3? Because if you're not, then we're gonna have to look at the lease in terms of charging. So I asked for that and a copy of their liability insurance.
Good.
So you will probably get the lease at the next meeting, I hope.
Have you received any
No,
correspondence?
I have not, and
Is
so.
this a local person?
I don't know. I talked to Mimi, she gave me her email, that's the only contact information that Mimi had. So their advertising is gonna be at the park, so I feel like I just need to get in touch with this person.
Who is it?
Her name is Brianna Sims.
No, what is it? I should say.
The farmer's
Farmer's
market.
Market.
Market is.
Yes.
New manager.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a new.
No, I think they're just becoming more of a standalone group. But before we issue a lease, I think we need to figure out all of this stuff. So
I don't
I'm
think
working
the
on
market's
that.
changed. I think it's just, instead of like say Jeff, I think they've hired somebody else.
Right, right. And
All
so
right.
I just want to make sure we're covered
Oh, that's
before we sign a lease. Financial disclosure forms are due at the end of the month. We are having a meeting on Friday with an architect about the public safety building. So hopefully that's the first step in getting a cost on that. And finally, the courthouse structural report that Tom asked about. So the judge has set up a meeting with the judges on the second and third floor. We felt like that was the first step in addressing this. Judge Petrie recommended that we reach out to GRW, who is an engineering firm in Lexington. GRW did the feasibility study for the AOC on every courthouse every county that didn't have a courthouse. They analyzed each building with the same criteria, and we came in at number
Way down on the list, 26 or something.
something like that, of getting a new courthouse. Judge Petrie, and I totally agree with this, said you ought to have that redone and see if you change position on the
Yes.
list before we spend $1 million or so on fixing the roof and the clock tower. We better find out how they rank us, because that could play into us getting a new courthouse. So, truly, Judge Bottom has written a nice letter here that we're gonna send to GRW and ask them to help us with this study. The second thing that we started was a conversation on what do you do with the courts while the roof is off the building. You know, where are we gonna move our courts? We are responsible for providing them with a place to hold court. We learned yesterday it has to be in Boyle County. Cannot move it to Mercer.
Unless they agree to the
Yeah.
venue, change of venue. I mean, it's, I don't want to interrupt you.
It's
a big process.
complicated.
It's more than you ever think, and, you
It could be
know.
constitutional, I think Judge Petrie said.
He said it would be unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And why you
so-
think, well, you know, it's the circuit court on the second floor. It affects that area, but it affects so much more. You know, you're like, well, we have another courtroom, district courtroom, but you know that would impose upon the district court going on. I mean, sometimes it's going to work, but sometimes it's not. Like Judge Dodson told us yesterday, he's got a 9-day trial, set up later this year. Not that this even process is going to even get started, until probably next year, but it's a process that we also. Mark spoke about the noise. We weren't even thinking that. He's like, there's going to be banging and so on, and there'll be.
Well, the noise is going to affect the whole.
It's going to affect
courthouse.
everybody.
So we may even have to look at somewhere, for all the offices.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that,
This is much
It's a big
bigger.
deal.
Yeah, this
It
is gonna
is.
be
It's
much
a big
bigger
deal.
than just getting somebody down here to fix it. There's gonna be a lot of moving parts that we're gonna have to orchestrate here.
There's going to be cranes. I mean,
Yeah.
taking the parking spots, to remove
Yeah.
the tower. It's a big deal,
it's a big
and
ordeal.
hoping that maybe if we explain this to AOC and that might bump us up, because I mean you're going to put a lot. We're going to have to since we own this building, put a lot of money into it to fix it, and then just to maybe if we're 26 at some point we are going to get a new courthouse, and to spend all that money to turn around and tear it down or whatever to build a new one.
Well,
It's just
I don't know that we're getting a new courthouse. It would be
Or
a
a
new
Judicial center.
judicial
Well, that's
center,
fine.
and the
Judicial
courthouse
center.
would still stay
But every
here.
dollar we put in the courthouse drops us on the list.
Yes.
And so we gotta really think about this in terms of the big picture of this investment.
Have you copied Daniel and Amanda on that as well, that letter?
I will.
Yeah.
I will. But this is not gonna happen real quick. It could be a year, but then you gotta think about it, another windstorm. So there's just a lot to deal with.
It's not a potential danger, they say, but like they showed us some of the trusses or whatever upstairs.
There's no immediate danger.
But it needs to be addressed.
It's concerning. Very
relatively quickly, but it's not an immediate danger.
Good deal.
So I think that's the extent of all I have to report today.
All right, any questions on that?
Might connect with Mercer County, because they went through the rebuilding of the
Yes.
courthouse.
Uh-huh, yep.
And they ended up with an old grocery store
Yes.
that remodeled,
Mhm.
put their courts in.
Mhm.
Now it takes the physical court office and other offices that are in there.
Mhm.
And a funeral home.
Yeah, and then the judicial part is in the new judicial
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
Sheriff's office is there too, yeah.
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 That was the old
Clean
gateway
up and
building.
line, or all three.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe
thank you all.
CJ May can get us a little spot up on the hill there.
Yeah, there's a lot to decide. I just think we're gonna be really, it's gonna be hard.
Yes, remember that when we're going into appropriations.
Which we will be doing at 11:30.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate the reports.
And if you did have to acquire something, that's gonna get a lot of backlash if you move the judicial center from downtown to somewhere else.
Where there's parking available.
Yeah, so that's just a whole lot of,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal with.
You can sell them a jail if they can put it on.
A lot of moving parts. All right, I'll be quick. There is an FYI for you in your packet. You have the treasurer's monthly settlement ending March 31st, 2024. You've had a chance to look at that. I want to thank the Sheriff's Department for being here today. Chris, thank you for being here. And then just a reminder that we have one meeting left in April that we'll meet here. Our first meeting in Payroll, or our first meeting in May will be in Payroll. So May 14th, our fiscal court meeting will be at Payroll City Hall.
Right.
Okay.
Do I get mileage?
Yeah, turn it in.
I had to come from all the way to the other side.
From the east side.
I know.
And that's all I have. So
Carpool.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Motion by Magistrate Ellis, second by Magistrate Cullen. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
11:30?
Be back at 11:30 for
Do
appropriation.
you want us to order lunch in?
Yes, do you want us to order
I'll
lunch?
just walk over to Subway and buy mine.
I'll do the same.
All right.
Okay.
Hopefully somebody can figure out